what I'd really like is for those who don't know about loose change to really know about it. I think it's beautiful, this idea that children can make a difference for other children in the world. I think it's empowering for them.
Welcome to the new season of Women of Wayland Podcast. Get up to learn more about two nonprofits we are raising money for and a variety of stories that will blow your mind. Listen to some town history from someone who has lived here for decades.
There was virtually no African American community except for a very few families. And yes, the exposure of most Wayland kids, including my own children, was through the METCO program and being a host family.
COVID and climate change. Did we really save the planet by staying home?
Staying at home, not driving, for instance, not flying, would bring down pollution. But when you look at the numbers, that did not happen. The parts per million of CO2 in the atmosphere keep rising. It's because it's a very complex system and it's not just us individuals.
And a huge thanks to doctors, nurses, scientists, and all first responders.
It meant so much to all of us, but at some point, I can't really pinpoint exactly, maybe like 5-6 months in, when people started to realize that, you couldn't go out, there were so many restrictions, and then they started feeling like, this is how I perceived it. It seemed that people felt that it was us enforcing these rules. And then there was a lot of speculation. Is COVID really real?
Is this now a mental health pandemic?
We tend to work with people who are struggling with suicidality. And so there's kind of like a protocol or general flow to those meetings. And the first one is everyone goes around and rates their burnout. I mean, as a group, people have been joking about wanting to quit the profession.
Undercover boss, from CEO to warehouse worker, all in a day.
Even for people who naturally just have that drive to want to do extraordinary things, they can be held back by their fear. Think that it's all about what you want to do and your drive to make it happen.
Teaching music virtually after 25 years of in-person classes. Can you please crank up the volume?
For a lot of us, that was the case. I never in a million years would have thought I'd be teaching online. And actually those first 2 days, I was teaching on Skype on my phone and going nuts. And at one point, I had it taped to the music stand, and the student says, "I can't see you, you've gone all blurry." And I realized I put Scotch tape over the camera. I mean, that was how hopeless I was.
What did you hoard this year? Maybe flour?
So many people made breads, and I couldn't find flour anywhere. I had a friend going to Restaurant Depot, and he surprised me with a 25-pound bag of flour. It was like $7 there. I was like, oh my God, I can bake again.
Carnival or COVID, poles apart, but both can bring a community together.
The outpouring of love and support and connection, and we couldn't have done it without this community of Wayland. I mean, from the carnival to just they had reached out to say, "Oh, we know Ellie missed her birthday. Can we do something for her?" And both Doug and I were like, "Yeah, take her out to the movie, something." We were thinking give her ice cream, and then they're like, "Okay, we're gonna do a town-wide carnival." We're like, "What?"
It's time for our finale. It's a first. We thought it was important to highlight a man from our town whose work is benefiting women.
Building this kind of conversation and dialogue would be my hope. And of course, it's already going on in other forms with other names. And to find those places, Yardley Love was killed the year before Lauren at the University of Virginia. They went the same way. The mother of Yardley immediately began to say, how can we talk about this? How can we bring it to light? And there are many similarities in the two cases.
A heartfelt thank you to our production sponsor, Lauren Dunn Astley Memorial Fund, and a big thanks also to our sponsors for helping us raise money for two local nonprofits. Stay tuned for Season 3 of Women of Wayland Podcast. Subscribe and leave a 5-star review because that helps. This is your host, Yamini, signing off. Can't wait to kick off this season.